much for joining us here on PrimeSportsWithMahlatse. I know you are in camp. It's quite a busy time, but you have decided to give us a time. We've been chasing you for a long time. Just for a chat about football, really. And I think I want to start off by just looking back at your life and your career. A lot of people don't know that during your day, you were a very, very, very good defender. Can you just tell us about your playing days, while you were still a player?
Yes, I started as a 12-year-old boy in my village in a little club, and as a striker. So
As a striker?
yes, as a striker. I was a very good striker.
Mm.
But the older I became, the better I was as a striker. And I was, I think, 17, and the coach of the first team, he said, maybe you're good as a central defender. And I thought, I was central defender, I never played that. So we tried a few games, and game after game it went better and better. And at the end of that season, a big club like Anderlecht in Belgium came. I played 10 months in the second team, and from then I was in the first team for 12 years. After that I went to the other big team in Belgium, Bruges. I played another 5 years, and then I had to stop my career. And I became a coach.
Yeah. So you stopped because of an injury, pretty much?
No, not not because I was injured, but because there was no club interested anymore. I was 36.
So they said you finish?
Yeah, I was 36, and I played all season.
Yeah.
But yes, there was no club interested anymore, and I was very nervous that time. I was at home, I was waiting. And then suddenly there was a phone call, and they asked me to be assistant coach. And immediately in the little club in first division. And sure, I wanted to do that. But that season we relegated.
Oh.
They sacked the coach, and they asked me to be
To take over.
the first coach, the head coach. And we were champion in second division. We went up to first division, and then came Bruges to be coach there.
And obviously, I mean, you are a high-profile figure. You given the nature of you having played for two big clubs. Football was different during that time. How different was football?
It was totally different. It was not so fast as now. When you see now Champions League games, and you see then, because I have at home still some games from the time I played, it's like we walk. So it was not so fast. Also the preparations were different. Now everything is scientific. Everything is measured. In that time there was nothing. When you did an effort, they asked you to take your pulse, and then yes, you were nearly dead. And then what you said, it was a little bit in what the other said before you. So yeah, it was totally different. Also the money.
Yeah, no money.
Not only the contract of the players, but also when you see the money is going around in football, it's enormous.
It's crazy, yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, you can't compare those two periods. Certainly not. And I played from 71 to 86, 88. Sorry, to 88. So it's 40 years ago. So it's normal that everything is changed and evaluated.
I'm sure you wish you could have been playing now, for the money and for the advancements of technology.
But you know, the generation before me, they said the same thing.
Yeah.
They said also to us, you see what money you have now. In my time, it was not like that. And this is normal, and the generation now will say that to the other generation, because yes, everything is going forward. What we talked already, the money who is now in the football, it becomes more and more. You see also now in Africa with the African League, they invent something for the money. In Europe is a Euro League. So yes, everything changed and everything goes about money now.
And you had a good club career, winning leagues and stuff. When you look back at your club career as a player, you look back with a smile, you achieved what you wanted to achieve?
Yes, certainly. And when I was in my village football player, and then yeah, there were also at that time games on European Cup games on television, and yes, then you hoped one day you should do that also. But the only thing, the decision I made, and this is something what I already said about younger players, when you go to a big team, you need to have the occasion or the opportunity to play.
Yes.
It's not only for the money. Sure, in that time also, the money was important. Suddenly my salary went up, and this is also a choice. But for me, it was important that I had a chance to play. Even it was from the beginning because I was only 18 in the second team, but I played every week.
Yeah.
And this is now something different between younger players and players before. They just choose the money and they don't look anymore at their career.
You have to play.
Yes, and to play. No. I have. This is my salary, and this is a little bit sad that they choose, or not always, but that some guys choose the salary and not the numbers of playing.
Yeah. And you were also a stalwart for the Belgian national team. I was checking your stuff, and you went to the World Cup in Mexico.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Yeah, for me it was. At that time I was already 34. I had the bad luck 7 years before to be injured. It was just the time that Belgium started to be a team that always was on the big tournaments, and I had a bad injury, a back injury, and I lost 7-8 months that season. And during those 7-8 months, the coach made his team. He went to the European Championship in '80, and they were second. Yeah, then I think it's normal that you don't have the opportunity anymore because the team was made. Also younger players or young players. So I had to wait till '85 when the coach was in trouble with suspensions and injuries. And I played an important game against Holland that made us qualifying for Mexico. And after the game, when we went back from Holland home, the coach came to me and he said, if you're not injured and you play all the games like you did till now, you go with us to Mexico. And I didn't really believe him. But 6 months later, he announced his squad, and I was in the squad.
And you were the oldest
I was the oldest player of the squad, yes.
Yeah.
So if you can have that experience at that age, because I knew also this is the last the World Cup for me. There will not come another World Cup in 4 years because then I'm 38. So this was for me the last chance I had. And it was a fantastic experience. It's something special.
Yeah.
I played European Cup games, very important games, but this is very, very special, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy that I was in '86 with the national team in Mexico.
And you guys went far in the tournament.
I'm sorry?
You guys went far in the tournament.
Yeah.
You went to the semifinals.
Yeah. This, in the group stages, we didn't do so well with Belgium, and we get much critics from home, from the media. It was not good, and we were qualified for the next round as best third in the group in the groups.
Yeah.
And then we played against Russia, and Russia was one of the favorites to be world champion, and we beat them with 4-2, and that was the click. And we were till the semi-finals. It was against Argentina, but it was not Argentina.
Yeah.
It was Maradona who beat us, and we were fourth in that World Championship. It was the best score or the best result Belgium ever had in a big tournament. So now again, if I think about that, it's
something.
It's fantastic that I was a member of it.
You just mentioned Maradona now. I'm sure you will be one. Who are the other big name players that you played with and against during your career?
So the Holland player was a coach of Barcelona years ago. So that were big players in that moment. They were the best players also, and I had the chance to play against them, or the chance. He said the way you see it. But yes, playing against those players are also for a player a good experience. Even it was very difficult.
Very difficult, yeah. Yeah, you need to really be at the top of a game all the time at that level, because I mean Maradona, you and Cruyff, you name them. Those were the best of the best at that time.
Yeah. The best of the time, certainly. I forgot one Müller of
Gerd
Bayern
Müller,
Munich. The only bad experience I have that all those players scored against me, so I wasn't so good against them. But yes, that's also an experience for a player if he can play against those players. Right now, when the player can play against Ronaldo or Messi, it's an experience you don't want to miss.
Yeah, of course.
Even it can be not so good for you, because yes, they are so good, they have so much talent, but having that experience is something you have to
be there to know it. Yeah. And then transition to coaching. How was it? Was it difficult, or I mean, did you think that you will become a coach while you were still a player?
I've always said in the beginning of my career, I will never be a coach, because when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's him. But the more you are in football and the closer your end as a player comes, you think more and more, yes, but why shouldn't I try it? And when I finished as a player, my career, I was at home. I didn't have a job. I was 3-4 months home, and I waited, and then suddenly I got an offer to be an assistant coach, and I took it without even discussing about money. I just wanted to do it. And at the end of that season, we relegated, and they sacked the coach, and they asked me to be the head coach in second division. And I took the opportunity, and we were champion in second division. And then yes, my career started. So
at that time, what were sort of your highlights of your coaching career at that time?
The highlights were even that in second division for a beginner coach. It's a good result. And then I went to Bruges. 6 years I was in Bruges. I won cups, I won championships. Then I went to the smaller club, and there we played European Cup. Then I went to Anderlecht. I was again champion. So I had only success. And the first time that I was sacked, it was in Anderlecht. The club where I played for 12 years, and it was very painful. Really very painful. After that, I was 10 months home without a job. So it was a bad period in my career.
I know Vincent Kompany. You speak very much, a lot about him. He's one of the players that we gave an opportunity. Who are the other guys that you believed in them when they were young and they went on to become big superstars?
Vincent is the top. And when he was 17 and I saw him first playing in the second team of Anderlecht, I talked with my assistant and we said, this guy is not where he has to be. He has to become with us. And he played his first game as a 17-year-old, a European Cup game. And from the first moment, you saw that this guy should have a very big career. And the other boys I gave a chance were more players who were Belgian players, and not from that kind. And I think as a player or as a coach, you only have one or two of them with so much talent in your career. And I was very happy that I had him, and he's still grateful. Because now as a coach of Burnley I have some contacts with him because of Clive Foster playing there, and every time he said, "Coach, don't forget that you give me the chance, because this is important. You have to give the chance to younger players, and then it's up to them if they can succeed or not. But if you don't give them the chance, and if you don't be patient with him, because with Vincent it was immediately tick, boom, and he played, and there were no problems anymore. But sometimes you need to be patient a little bit with younger players and let them play 4 or 5 games, and then maybe 2 3 games on the bench, and then again, and that they feel the confidence. And this is important because youth is future.
Definitely.
Youth is future. You can build something with youth.
Coach, fast forward to a few years ago, you arrived in South Africa. You've been here now for just, I think, over 2 years. What have you made of South African football?
Honestly, I knew at that moment South African football because 2 years earlier, or 3 years earlier, we were in the same group with South Africa for Afcon in Gabon in 2017 for the qualifiers. And I knew Africa, and then because they are in the group, you follow that a little bit closer. And at that time, they said that South Africa was a sleeping giant in African football. So for me, when South Africa came to be a coach, I was immediately very, very interested because I knew there were some opportunities here, and we could make a good team of it. In order of knowing players, I was not so well. I have to admit it. I knew Percy Tau. I knew what's his name again, the goalkeeper of Cape Town. What's his name again?
Of what,
he
Cape
played
Town?
in Belgium too.
Oh yeah.
I knew Yali because he played in Ostende, and when he played in Ostende, I was technical director there.
Yeah.
So I knew some players, but for the rest, I had very, very, very much help from Helman. Helman made me knowing players. He gave me names, and I went to see those players. So now, now I know them, but without Helman, I wouldn't have succeeded. Not at all. So that gave me a big help to know the players. But when you see, I still had needed 1 year to know it very, very good. I looked for players, I searched for players. Sometimes I took the bad choice. But when you're looking and searching, you can have bad choices. But I think now with Helman next to me, that we know everything about South African football. And when there are still some things I don't know, he will tell me.
But I mean, obviously, knowing what you know now, what do you make of our game? It's PSL, NFD, amateur structures.
I have to say it. First of all, when I came here, I was a little bit surprised of the level. Also of the players. I was surprised that I saw overweighted players. I couldn't believe it. This is professional football. And still there were overweighted players of the pitch. There were not young players in the teams. There were all teams with older players, 28, 29, 30. I never saw a younger player play. And that was for me also a surprise. And therefore I decided, together with Helman, we are now going to look for younger players. Because when we go again and go on with those older players, in 2 years we have again to look for a new team. And therefore I'm very happy now that I see nearly in every team younger players. We have now 4 of them. None of them are playing in big teams, but they are playing. Cross is playing in Narrows. Jaden is playing in Stellenbosch. So they are playing, and this is important also for us as a national team. When you can bring the younger players, because younger players are hungry. They are hungry not only to make performances, but also to learn. It's very difficult to learn things on all the players because they are made. They have it. So and therefore we from the beginning we looked for younger players with a good mix, because you can't play with 23 players of 22, 23 years old. You need that experience, not only on the field but also outside the field. So and I think we found now the good mix of young and older players.
There's always been this thing about South African players that our players matured a little bit late. I mean, if you look in the Champions League in Europe, 18-year-olds are playing.
this is the reason of that is the formation of the players. South Africa don't really have a good formation. Maybe the country is too big to do it, but I think there is a lot of work to do for SAFA. When you see, and I told already the story, but in 2006, Belgium was not, I think it was a world championship, and we asked questions, why? All those other big tournaments we were there, and suddenly we were not there anymore. So they make a commission of people, and they research why that happened. And one of the biggest reasons was, first of all, not enough younger players. Secondly, we didn't give the chance to younger players. We rather bought a player abroad than putting a younger player, even when he was not good, but that was the case in Belgium. And third, there was no formation. Everyone did what he wanted. Every club did what he wanted. So they make a plan, they make a program, a formation program for young players from 6 years old till 18. And they went with that to the clubs. And they asked, look, are you ready to follow that program? Because we need to have a better Belgian football. We need again to be in the big tournaments. And many clubs were happy with it. Also the trainers, licensed trainers, and it was also in Belgium like that. The one on the corner of the street, oh, you are free, okay, you can come and you train this boy. It was always a man who played football, but it was not a coach. So, and then they started also courses for trainers. So now in Belgium you need a license also for youth. If you don't have it, you don't train youth. And then there was from 6, this is the program for those guys. This is the program for the guys from 8 years old. This is the program. They started with 4 against 4, 5 against 5, 7 against 7, 9 against 9. At 11, you play 11 against 11, not before.
Yeah.
So everything was planned. And what happened 10 years later, we were in European Championship, and in 2018 we were on the World Cup in Russia, and we were 10th. So this is something, and I know this is not easy. Huh? It's a lot of work, it's a lot of money. But you don't have anything for nothing. You have to work for it. You have to have a formation. And I think when we can succeed here in this country, because when I compare that with other African countries, this is heaven here. You see the stadiums, you see the accommodations. We are here now in Tusk. Yeah, in Tux. Yeah, you have everything you want here as a professional team to prepare. So those things we didn't have it either in Belgium. So here it's already here. So use it, and then I'm sure of it that South Africa is a country that will be in the best African countries in a number of years.
Yeah, when you started, you picked up a number of youngsters. I mean, from the top of my head, I can remember someone like Ethan Brooks. He has sort of just fallen on the wayside, and there's been a few others who are not here now. Would you say those guys maybe in a way disappointed you that they didn't carry on or kick on?
And it's never too late. Huh? We tried some boys, and some boys are staying. Some other are not staying because maybe it was too early, or maybe they didn't play so good anymore. If I can take the example of Ethan Brooks, suddenly Ethan didn't play anymore in the Galaxy like he played before. Maybe it was because he thought, oh, I'm an international player now. Now in Amazulu this year, he's coming back little by little. So it's not finished for him. It's not finished. So it's the same thing for all other players. Some of them we said, or not enough quality. It was good for the club, but on that level as Bafana Bafana, he had not enough quality. Or it was too soon. So that can happen. That can happen, and it's not because we try them. We take, for example, the Margeman of Supersport. Okay, he played against Namibia, it was,
yeah.
Veswantini. It was not bad, but I think it was for him a little bit too early to come already.
Yeah.
But this player, he stays on the list, and we will see in the next months. When you see our team now for the moment, I think after Afcon, we will need to have players, new players again, to play if we are qualified in 26, because there are now already players from 31, 32, Themba, 34 already.
They are not going to go to the World Cup.
So maybe it's possible, I don't know, but we have to take in account that, yes, after Afcon, we need to find someone to replace Themba.
And I know you coaches don't like to talk about individual players, but I'll quiz you on this one. Goodman Musele. Goodman Musele, is he still? Are you monitoring him, or what's Goodman Musele? Are you still monitoring him?
But it was the same with Goodman. Huh? He played good in Kaizer Chiefs, and suddenly, in Orlando Pirates, and suddenly, it was nothing anymore. Now he's playing on a good level again.
Cheaper, yeah.
So it's not because 1 year ago we didn't call you anymore for national team that you never find that the name anymore on our lists. It's still there. And then, we will see for the future.
Yeah, and the other thing that I want to check with you, coach, is you have been very outspoken about the perceived lack of cooperation between PSL and SAFA. I know you still haven't had your meeting and all this kind of stuff. And how disappointing is this that you can't get a simple thing as just a meeting with the coaches?
I don't know. I know. I told already several times that if you do 4 attempts, to have the coaches together, and 4 times by different reasons, it's always postponed. What can I do?
There's nothing you can do.
What can I do? So now I had already a few individual contacts. And I hope that I can do in the future.
Yeah.
But that takes time. I take for example Rulani. When will I talk to Rulani? He's always on the road or he has to prepare a game.
Yeah.
So, and therefore for me it was the easiest way to have one date where all the coaches could come and everybody is there. And you can spend a whole day together, and I can explain some things, and they can ask me questions. But yes, now to go to every team in PSL, and then can I come next week? No coach, because I have a game. Oh yes, it takes so much time. So much time.
And you have also been outspoken about Chiefs and Pirates that they need to catch up with Sundowns for the betterment of South African football. Yeah,
because those teams have always the possibilities to have the good players. When you have a smaller team and he has a good player, is 1 year, the next year is going to Chiefs or to Pirates or to Sundowns. So when they have also the good players, there will be a struggle, a battle between Sundowns, Pirates, the Chiefs, and some smaller clubs who do well. Like Stellenbosch, for the moment, Arrows.
Supersport Arrows.
So, five teams who are fighting, and it's not the question of that Sundowns is always champion. No, that happens in Spain also. Real Madrid was always champion, or Barcelona, but they had to fight for it. They had to fight for it, and this is something that will make this football better in South Africa, when those teams have to fight to be champion. And it should be also good for Sundowns and for the teams who play in Confederation Cup and Champions League. They will be stronger, because every week here they have to fight for the points. So that makes them better also.
Yeah.
And when you see the last 2 years, okay, last year Pirates was good, but also the beginning was a little bit. Yeah, now this year, it's not really what we expected from them. Chiefs, either. Yeah, it's a pity that you have to say it, but when you see what happens in Sundowns, yeah, they will the next games maybe because they have too much games they will lose some games because of the fatigue. But I don't see how Sundowns will not be champion again this year, and maybe again with 10 or 15 points ahead.
Yeah. And what have you made of Rulani? I know you haven't spoken to him, but watching from a distance, it's an exciting young coach.
Yeah, it's first of all already a good coach. He's a young coach. I think
he's only 36.
Sorry?
He's only 36.
Yeah. So this is very young for a coach. The results he made, you can only say congratulations for what you do. And you see that also on his team, the way he led his team playing, there is a structure. You know how this team play, and still it's difficult to win against them. So that means that he makes good work with his team. That everyone knows in the team what they have to do, when they have the ball, when they don't have the ball. And this is, very. It seems to be very simple.
Yeah.
But
it's not.
He was good, and I had the opportunity to speak him, I think, 5 minutes after the game against Eswatini, I think.
Yeah, at Orlando,
Yeah, at Orlando. And okay. I think that he's a guy who is full of football from his foot till his head.
For his grandfather, his father, his uncle were footballers.
Yeah, but also I think it's also a guy who will learn, who read many things about football, who want contact with coaches to talk about football. So he wants to progress in his profession, and I hope for him that as soon as possible he gets the UEFA Pro license, and that he get a chance. And what I see now from him, I think, he can make it.
You can make it overseas?
Sorry?
You can make it overseas?
Yeah, why not? Why not? And I was a little bit surprised that Pitsu said in Europe they don't want African coaches. It's not about that. It's about your license. And if you don't have the UEFA Pro license, you don't enter in Europe as a coach.
Yeah.
So let's hope that also the good coaches, also Pitsu, also now Rulani, and other coaches, that they have the opportunity, and this is something that Safa also has to do, that they have the opportunity to have that license, so that they can work all over the world like I can do with my license.
Yeah. What did you make of this AFL tournament? AFL, that's Sundowns was playing in now.
Yeah, but it's nice, and it's nice for the club who wins 75 million. It's very nice.
I'm sure you wish you were working there.
But I'm always asking, why? This is Champions League. Yeah, Sundowns play against Wydad. They can also play against Wydad in the Champions League. So what's the difference? The only difference is that is again more games that you have to play. And you see the program now of Sundowns till now. And what they have to do now is every 3 days a game. Traveling to Mauritania, no, not to Mauritania, I think, but to Congo, to all over Africa again. You know how difficult it is. So we have to be careful now with those players here in this camp, because otherwise they will not be fresh on Saturday. So next week is every 3 days a game. Fly to Congo, fly back, game, traveling here in South Africa. It's a little bit irresponsible, and then you have to ask the question, why doing this? You have a Champions League, but they speak about it in Europe too, huh?
They stopped it.
They speak about it in Europe too. So the big teams want also, next to Champions League, also such a competition. Yeah, it's about money.
So you don't like it?
Well, I don't like it. It's not a question I don't like it, but it's an
It's not necessary.
enormous charge on players and clubs, and it will be like in the future that you have 35 players, and those 35 players plays all those competitions.
Yeah.
You can't do it otherwise.
Coach, earlier on you mentioned about getting things right and getting things wrong. I'm sure one of the things that you look back and say maybe you got it wrong was on Themba Zwane.
Okay, but it was not about Themba Zwane as a player. It was about Themba Zwane, his age. I was thinking, okay, in 2 years we play Afcon. First, also World Cup. That was okay, but Afcon is now, so it's 2 years ago. So will he still be fit at that moment? Because it can happen with a player that when he's a certain age, 22, 33, suddenly it can be the finish. So for me, it was the reason was, is there nobody else, a younger one?
Yeah.
So and okay, I cut my own finger. Okay, and I admit it.
Yeah.
I admit it. But you see now how fit Themba still is.
Yeah.
So it's amazing also.
Yeah.
On that age, and he became a very important player for us. It's maybe the only big mistake that I made since I'm here, but there was a reason. It was not because it was Themba or about the way he played. No, I saw also that he was a good player. But okay.
It is what it is.
Past and I'm also a human being, and as I said, only fools don't change their mind.
Yeah. Coach, now football has changed. Has changed quite dramatically. When you started as a player, it's completely different to what it is now. There's food science and there's all these sorts of things. And as an individual and as a coach, how have you navigated around these new developments in football with the advancement of technology, and how important it is that we use more technology and science now in football?
You have to. When you stay on your level, when I began in '88, that was not. I couldn't have be a coach of a national team now anymore. I should be somewhere in a little club in Belgium with the license I had at that moment. So I learned a lot with the courses of UEFA Pro license. And then in Belgium, when you have an UEFA Pro license, it's only for 3 years. So during that 3 years, you have to win 15 points. How can you win 15 points? Is by going to courses. So they give a course not in Belgium, not only in Belgium, can also be in a foreign land, a foreign country. For example, physical preparation. And there is then a physical coach of a big club who give you a course in physical preparation. You got, for example, 4 points for that. So you have to do courses till you have 15 points, because after 3 years, when your license is finished, expires, and you don't have 15 points, you don't get your license. So automatically, you evaluate or your progress also as a coach. And I did it till now, because I had just my new license now a few months ago.
Okay.
So I followed courses in Belgium. I followed courses in Holland, for example. So, maybe people said, "Hey, why do you have still to go courses?" But so there are things, or there are courses where you learn something.
Yeah.
Still. So and I think it's a good system. So you need to follow the progressions in football, and because you need to have those 15 points. So everyone in Belgium, every coach in Belgium, and I think also in foreign countries, have to do that, because otherwise you can't follow anymore. And I don't think you can still be a good coach with all that knowledge.
Coach, a lot is made of philosophies, coaching philosophy, styles, and formation, and what is your philosophy, your style, in a prepared formation of playing football?
I think I'm rather, how you call it in English, severe, rather strict.
Yeah.
I like discipline because I'm sure of it that if there is no discipline, you have chaos and it's finished on the field or out the field. But I'm not the guy who is there with his watch and click. I said it once to the players. I said, look, and finished. Okay, if someone comes 10 minutes too late, I tell them, hey. So I think months ago, there were 2 players not on the bus, and the bus went to the training session, and they had to come with taxi. Yeah, it's like that. So I think when there is a good structure and a good discipline, it's easier to have a good team. But you also the way you treat players is different. Maybe I have to shout to you to be awake, but if I shout to him, it will be. So this is something you have to feel, and this is experience. They can't learn you that. You certainly in the beginning of my career, I've shouted on players where I didn't have to shout, and not to players where I have to. But you learn that. You learn that by doing it. There's the experience you need for that. And also, we get in those pro-license courses. We had also, for a certain moment, a course about philosophy. And that helped. You don't become a psychologist. Yeah. Not at all. But you learn some tactics to see, to watch, to treat the guy, and it becomes more and more important. And now in many teams, big teams, there is we call it psychologist. I should more tell a motivator, because when you say a psychologist, everyone thinks, are they sick? It's not true. Yeah. It's not true. And some players should have a big advantage to have someone to talk to. Yeah. But yes, this is also a progression, evaluation in football, and certainly in big teams where the pressure is very high.
And maybe a little bit on your playing philosophy. What is it? Obviously, we're going to start wrapping up now.
My philosophy is I like offensive football. And you can play offensive football in different ways. I don't like to be on my 16 and wait and then break out. This is not my philosophy. I like to have control of the game. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I see now also with Bafana Bafana that more and more we can have control of the game. When we see us playing against Ivory Coast, we had control of the game. When you see us playing in Morocco more than a year ago, we didn't have the control then. So there is a change, and possession of the ball is important, but not possession of the ball 5 minutes and you're still on the middle line. No. So yeah, let's say it's modern football, modern offensive football, and I think we succeed rather good for the moment with Bafana Bafana to play that. Even yes, we are not a team who scores a lot, but we have always chances. And then yes, to score the goals, though, you need those really top scorers who 1 chance or 2 chances, boom, and there is a goal. And this is also a matter of formation.
Coach, we're going to start wrapping up now. Romeo has given me a strict instruction that I mustn't overlap. She's walking around here checking me. Now, Coach, I mean, as I'm saying, we're going to start wrapping up now. We are, sort of starting the World Cup qualifiers now. It's important for us to start well there. Obviously, by the time this episode comes out, we would have played against Rwanda and Benin. But nevertheless, it's good that we must start well in these two matches.
First of all, it's good that you start at home. It's always more difficult when you have to start outside. But even in the former qualifiers, first game was in Zimbabwe. We played a draw, and the game after against Ghana we won up and so. But the most important things in qualifiers is to have a good start.
Yeah.
I will not underestimate our two opponents for this week, Benin and Rwanda, but you can have stronger teams. The most important thing for us is that we are not making the same mistake that we did against Namibia and against Swatini. So the focus was not there, the discipline was not there, the structure was not there. So yeah, maybe it was because of it's only. I think it was a good lesson. So therefore, I'm rather optimistic in what will happen in the next games. I feel it also on the players. They are ready. They are ready for action. It will not be easy when you can play a draw against Senegal, Benin. That means that there are qualities and there are qualities, but there are also weaknesses. And I know with the team we have, we can use those weaknesses. Again, if we are focused and concentrated. So I like to have a 6-on-6 because then you don't have to run behind.
Yeah.
So when you have to run behind, the pressure is there. You play 2 times a draw. Next game in June is what? Zimbabwe, I think. It's with the knife here. Right?
Yeah.
And when this is a bad result, yeah, but it's like that.
Yeah.
So we have to avoid that.
Yeah.
And we have the qualities to avoid that. So it's up to us to do it.
I'm going to put you under pressure here. South Africans, I don't want to say they're demanding, but they want a good performance at Afcon next year. You know this team, you've been with most of these guys for now. You said it already that you pretty much have got 80% of the squad done. How far can we go at Afcon?
We can go far. For me, when we go to Afcon, first goal for me is passing the group stages. And maybe it's a little bit surprising what I'm going to say now, but that's the most difficult. You start the tournament and everyone is fresh. And everyone believes that he can go through. So even Namibia will think, yes, but if first game against Tunisia we can have a draw, maybe. So everyone believes in it. So when you can pass that, then it's the quality, the team with the quality you play against. So for me, if we can pass that, and it's possible, we were not in the worst group, certainly not. We were in a group, a difficult group with Tunisia and Mali, and also Namibia. Yes, we have to say. But I think we have the qualities, not to win the group, maybe, but to pass. And that has to be our first goal. And then you never know. We went with Cameroon to Afcon, and everybody said, what this team is going to do in Afcon. And we struggled in the group stages. Really. And we needed a draw or a victory against Gabon. And if we are not lucky there, we are out. Our goalkeeper did a fantastic save in the last 10 seconds of the game. And then we had Senegal, and we win with penalties. Boom. And the click was there. So, again, the group stages is the most important and most difficult thing in Afcon. And then, then we will see. If you are a little bit lucky that you don't have immediately a favorite to win, let's say Morocco, and even then, then everything is possible.
And you've got experience because you've won this tournament before with Cameroon.
Yeah.
That will come in handy, of course.
I think it's an advantage for the team that you know what's it's waiting there for you. We are not really in the best location either. It will be hot there. But again, I know also that for African players, if you ask them what is what you want, every African player said, Afcon. So I know that the players they will go till the limit to pass those group stages, even when the circumstances will not be ideal. You play against Mali. Mali is 25 kilometers from there, so you will play an out game, not only in the Ivory Coast but also against Mali, because much more Mali supporters will be there. But that have to be a motivation for us.
Second last question, coach. Having worked with South African players, the mentality, we get a lot of reports that there's ill discipline and all these kinds of things. And what have you find dealing with South African footballers?
Yes, we as Europeans, we said sometimes from the African players, discipline, also the way of life, attitude is not really professional. But at the other side, we have also to ask the question, but did someone learn them to live like that? When you see the African players now in Europe, when they are soon there, they can do it also. So it's not a matter of genes. It's a matter of formation. And we have to say that in most of the African countries the formation of a football player is very minimum. So this is also a part of formation. Is how do you live as a professional? And I talked in the beginning of the interview also when I came here, the first thing, and I saw there's overrated players. I was asking myself, hey, why doesn't nobody say something about it? Come on, you're professional. So it's also a way of life, but everybody has to do it. Not you only in your club. Because they will say, oh, why are we doing that? Look, this one is also playing good. No, it's not like that. So it's also a question of formation. And this is maybe the disadvantage that Africa has if we talk about winning a World Cup, for example. Even the good African players need that little thing that can make them winning the World Cup. And that is formation. This is from others 6-7 years old till they are 18, learning what you have to learn to be a professional player.
Coach, currently there's a CAF A license happening, and we were there this morning, and the technical director said we asked why is Helman not there. Is he not there because of the Bafana schedule that is there, and he will get to do this thing later?
No. We try to have him there. Really, it is important for Helman too. But yes, he should have been there till tomorrow night. It was not possible to have him there, for example, only in the afternoon. They didn't agree with that, and I understand that. The other coaches have to be there 1 week, and he comes for 2 hours in the morning, and then he comes here with I need him here also. So that is the reason why Helman was not there, but I know that in the future he will have the opportunity to do it in a foreign country.
Last, who is the best player you have coached in Europe and here in South Africa?
The best player that I coached was his company. There's no doubt. There is no doubt. I've coached many good players, but he was really, and certainly because of the fact that he was only 17. When I knew him, I had him 2 years. So when I left Anderlecht, he was only 19 at that moment. So yeah, It was a very, very talented player, and when you see his career, I think it is a normal career for such a guy with so much talent. And an African player, phew, this is not easy. This is not easy. Yeah, maybe you will say, no, yeah, it's because you're here in South Africa, but the qualities, really football qualities, I said Themba. Yeah.
Themba Zwane,
yeah. So
he's special.
yeah, you don't have to tell him so much. I don't tell him so much. I just ask him, Themba, play football. You know where you have to be, you know what you have to do. Yeah, and he feels it. He feels the football, technical. He's a good player. He can give a pass. He can score. Yeah, it's a very good player.
In closing, Coach Peter used to say, when Themba is dancing, anything is possible.
Yeah, but that's true. That's true. And you see it when Themba plays good, the team plays good. You see against Morocco, he plays good. You see against Ivory Coast. Yeah, when he is good, we are good.
Yeah.
And that's very important to have a player like this in your team.
Yeah. Coach, we can talk football for a very long time.
Yes.
I certainly enjoyed this one, and thank you very much. I know you are busy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for taking time to speak to us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure for me also.
In French, they say merci beaucoup.
Pas de problème.
Thank you, Coach.
Ou avec plaisir.
Thank you, Coach.